Good morning, everyone. So this is my second video. It's my first video in English, and I will talk about the trip that I did in Philippines with Tao Expedition. So I got plenty of friends and people that I actually didn't even know ask me about this trip. So I decided to do a video summarizing what my experience was, what I would have liked to know before leaving, and anything else about this particular trip with Tao Philippines. So let me preface talking a little bit about Tao. Tao is a company that was funded, I'm not sure how long ago, but by a Filipino person, and I think his colleague was from, no. Somebody that was half Filipino and half American and a British guy. So what they did is they started sailing from North Palawan. So they started sailing from Coron to El Nido, and they found out that the experience of sailing this way, so just like stopping and sleeping in the village, was very authentic. So they wanted to create an experience for other travelers that wanted to visit the northern Palawan area, but without necessarily stopping in very touristy place with a lot of people or in very expensive hotel. And that's why they created this particular expedition, which is a 4 nights, 5 days expeditions that leaves from Coron and arrives in El Nido after 5 days, but also goes the other way around. So it starts from El Nido and ends in Coron. So we decided, I tried to do this trip actually the first time in 2015, but I was in the wait list and I didn't get in. And I tried again this year, and this year I booked with quite a few months in advance. I think was probably October for an April trip. So I was able to find place. We were actually 9 people. The boat is very traditional, that Filipino style. I think in Thailand I've seen similar boats. It's like the boat with the thing at the end, like this description, it's not gonna give the idea. I will try to post a video after it so you can actually see what the boat looks like, but it's definitely not like a super modern or like a yacht type of boat. It's very basic. And in the boat there are between 18 to 22 people. In our group there were 19. And what happens is that on day 1, actually the day before the departure date, you need to be either in Coron or El Nido. So you need to be in the city where your trip is gonna start. And the reason because you need to do that, it's because at 6 p.m. Of the night before there is a briefing, which it's mandatory for you to attend. And in the briefing they will let you know the plan for the trip, they will introduce you to the crew, and as well as they will tell you like some important information, as well that they will give you like a bracelet that you can prepay, and you will use this bracelet during the 5 days to buy drinks. So everything is included in the price, but drinks, so like alcohol and soft drinks are not. So anything but water, and I think they have Coke, Coke Zero, beer, and rum. I think that was pretty much it. Oh, and pineapple juice, or like juice in general. So I put, I think I put 2,000 pesos, which is like, how much is it? Michele, can you please help? $30, 30 US dollars. But some people like put much more. I don't drink beer, and I'm not a huge fan of rum. So what I did is like I bought some wine bottles and I brought them in the boat. But I use my bracelet for massage, because there is at one point you have one complimentary massage in one of the island, and if you want more than one you can pay, which is incredibly cheap. It's 350 pesos, which is, Michele? $5. What else? And at that point, the trip, so they tell you like very basic information. To be completely honest, so the crew is made up by the mechanic, the captain, the guide, chef, assistant chef, few people in the crew, and then the expedition leader. An expedition leader, I'm not sure what's the role of the expedition leader. Our expedition leader was like the worst, or like I'm sorry, like it just didn't bring any contribution to the group. It was very quiet. It was always on his own, playing guitar. So like our expedition leader was absolutely adding no value, but I believe that in other trips, the expedition leader should be like the guy pumping you up and like explaining you where you're going. Not our case, but that's fine. So our expedition leader did the night of the brief, walk us through very basic. It was actually such a weird brief, like no information given. And then ask if you had any question. I raised my hand because I want to know whether we could bring speakers on the boat, and his answer was no, like speakers are not allowed, which for me was absurd. Like, why can I listen to music? Like, we're gonna go in the boat and like sail for so long. Actually, never needed. I never got bored, which was probably like my number one fear, was to get bored during the trip. But to be honest, there is not one day. I think the longest that you travel without stopping is probably 2 hours and a half on the second day. So, and like you can read, you socialize a lot. So never felt the need of getting some music. Now, let's start. So from day one. So day one, basically what they tell you is you need to bring your luggage, because majority of people then from El Nido, they would just like continue their trip. So like you don't necessarily go back to where you start. So you want to bring your entire luggage. Something that is very important is that you need to have a dry bag. The dry bag looks like this. It's like, I mean, I got one. I used to work in LinkedIn, so like they gave me one, but you can buy one in Coron. It's like cheap. It's like $10, and they recommend to get the 30 liters one. You don't need it. I think 20 liters is more than enough in the dry bag. So the reason why you need the dry bag is because every night you will need to every night you will need to take your dry bag and put everything that you need for the night. So you want to put your whatever, like your sleepwear, you want to put your toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner if you're like long hair, whatever, and you want to put the torch, very important. So this was like absolutely essential. And the reason you need this is because in the night, if you need to pee or like vomit, in my case, because I got food poisoning, this is very helpful. And also because the sun goes away the sun sets like 6:15, no later than that. Then you need your reef shoes. You don't have to put, these are adorable. I bought this in Coron directly. Again, it's like $5. And I think I checked the prices in Australia. They were like $60. So like absolutely don't buy them in your country. Buy them directly in Coron. These you don't have to put in the bag. You need to wear them. And we're going to get there later. What else do you need here? Mosquito repellent. So I didn't buy the usual mosquito repellent because they will sell... it's like a menthol base mosquito repellent, which for me fully worked. Like I got very few mosquito bites. There were not many mosquitoes. We went in a dry season, that could be why. Now I was extremely concerned on the mosquito situation. Reason why, in 2007 I got dengue. I got hemorrhagic dengue when I was in Costa Rica. And the second time, so dengue is like one of the few diseases that the second time that you get it, it's like very bad. So like mortal. So I was extremely concerned. I called them and I was like, I need to ensure that if I get dengue, like you're gonna get me on a helicopter. And they were like, no girl, like it's not gonna happen. But we're gonna bring you with the boat to like the closest hospital. I did not get dengue, and I actually got very few mosquito bites. So for me, that was like the biggest win of the vacation, that I didn't die. And the last thing that you need to put in your bag is your towel. You need a towel. So we forgot a towel, so we had to steal one from the hotel before we left. Anyways, this is like essential. And actually, I was sharing a towel with my partner, so like we would use one towel. So you pack everything. Oh, and then if you want your mobile phone, whatever you need to charge in the islands, you will be able to charge, I think until like 10 p.m. in some of the islands. Not all the islands have outlets. Anyways, then what you do is you seal like this, and you close it. And then next thing, you leave that, and the crew will take it and will bring it to the island with their kayaks. Now, this is what happens every night. And then what you do is you wear your reef shoes, you jump in the water, and you swim till the island. And in the island, there is the base camp. But let's just like go from day one. Basically what happens, the structures of the day, it's very similar throughout these 5 days. Except for the first day. So the first day, you go in the water, you go in the boat, you start sailing, and then you do like few stops before you get to the first base camp. So I think the first day we stopped to snorkel like a shipwreck. Then we did like another snorkeling somewhere, and then we arrived at the base camp. So, and this is like the very regular structure every day. Around 4 p.m. you get to a new island, and that's where you have where your base camp is. So Tao has 13 base camps between El Nido and Coron. You will only stop in 4 of those. And they change, so you do not know your itinerary, like never, and you're not allowed to ask the time, and you're not allowed to ask where we're going, because they're not going to answer you. And the reason why is because they want you to really enjoy the trip and the experience. They don't want you to be worried about like what are we gonna look at, or what time is it. Like they want you to like fully enjoy the experience. So look, based on the weather, the tide, whatever, they know it, they will bring you to the best location according to the conditions. So in our case, we went to 4 base camps. The first one was probably the worst one. I mean, they were all beautiful, but like the experience got more beautiful day by day. So in the first one, and this is what happens every time you arrive. So you arrive around 4, but the boat is big, so the boat cannot like land in the island. So it stops like probably like 200 meters away, and everybody wears their comfy reef shoes and jump in the water, and then you will swim towards the island. You arrive in the island, and then the crew with their kayak will bring the dry bags. So they actually like, it's just for protection to have a dry bag, but it will get wet. Then they will bring in the island, and it will set up a table with all the dry bags. So you go, you pick up yours, and that's where they will give you a bag. And in the bag, it's you have your name written. It's like one of those bags, like, how do I call it? Like, let me see if I have one. It's like this type of bag, but it's actually not like this because it's made out of a rice bag. So it's a very cool souvenir. And inside the bag, there are 3 things. There is a mosquito net, a pillowcase, and sheets. And what you do is you don't do anything with it actually, because they will set up the bed for you, and they will put the mosquito net for you. And what you have to do is that the next morning you want to pack everything and put in the bag, and they will take the bag and bring it in the boat. Now, when I say set up the bed, what I actually mean is every base camp, has some very cute little huts. I'm going to direct this video to the actual Tao Experience video as soon as I make that, so you can actually look at this rather than imagine, because my description is probably not the best. So it's like these like very basic but cute huts that have only 1 mattress and 2 pillows. And what they do is they will go there, put some sheets, put the pillowcase on the pillow, and then put the mosquito net. So you're good to go. And what happens, so you arrive in the island around 4:30, and then around 5, the crew prepares what it's called the jungle juice, which is pineapple juice, mango juice, and rum. And it's a very nice way to actually like get together and like talk to the other people and meet new people and just like sip it, which is like very tasty, but also kind of like gets you. And usually you get like 1-2 glasses, depending how much the rest of the group drinks. After that, in the meantime, the crew will be preparing dinner, and the food, it's so yummy. So it's actually pretty constant. So you have rice, which they call Filipino power, and then you get either a curry or fish or meat. I'm vegetarian, to be honest. I'm pescatarian, so I don't eat meat, but I eat fish, and I had absolutely zero issue. So they cooked the dinner. I think the first night they had like 2 very big grilled fish, and then they had a coconut rice and some other like type of curry. And you eat dinner all together. And then usually in the evening they do some like games, like usually it's like drinking games if you wanted to stay up and getting to know. I think the first night we did a very cool one, which was like a game to remember others people's name, because it was the first night we met. So basically this game was you had to say your name twice and then another name twice, and then this person had to say, so I was like Chiara, Mike, and then this other person had to say Mike, and then another person name, and then like going around. It was actually like, it's pretty basic but pretty funny. We also like, I'm very bad at this, so like I drank a lot. And then around, I would say like around 10:30, 11, everybody just like goes to bed. In the morning, so what about the night situation? I slept like a baby. I was very scared of not sleeping, either for the heat or for the mosquito, and I have zero issue except for one night because I got food poison, but like that's outside everyone's control. But actually the sleep was very good. Oh, this is like a very precious tip that I'm gonna give. We bought eye mask. We bought those on Amazon and they were perfect. Actually, probably that's why I slept very well. It was something that my partner really pushed for having. I didn't consider, and I'm forever grateful. So we had this like super covering mask. It looked like a big bra, like a big black bra. But it was amazing because like, you know, like when you're sleeping in the hut on the beach, the sun rises pretty early, like 4 or 5. So we didn't feel it at all. And a lot of people, like when we would wake up around like 7-ish, 7:30, like a lot of people were already up because they were waken up by the sun. And then around, around 7:30, 8-ish, the breakfast is ready. Amazing breakfast. So I'm now actually, at that time I was like fasting, so I was trying not to eat breakfast, but I ate it sometimes. And for breakfast they have the regular like coffee and tea. They have ginger tea, which is very strong. It's basically like a bowl of ginger with some drips of water. That's what it tasted like. And then you have coffee, and then they make very good breakfast. So they would make like banana pancakes. You always have rice. I think you had bacon. One day they made us like in the coconut, like in the actual coconut. They made porridge with fruits. Like breakfast is amazing. All the meals are very amazing. And after breakfast, you put everything in your bag. You prepare the bag with the net and the sheet and the pillowcase. You put it back. They will bring it to the boat. You wear your shoes and you swim to the boat. Note, if you don't want to swim to the boat, which I think everybody swam except the day that everybody got food poison, that everybody was like, please carry me there. Anyways, for the other times, if you don't want to swim, especially in the morning, because it's like, oh no, I don't want to get wet, they will bring you with the kayak. But swim, it's fun. And then you arrive in the boat, and that's when you leave for the day. And again, you don't know where you're gonna stop. Usually you do 3 stops during the day. The 4th stop is the base camp. And you always stop in places where you can either snorkel, there is like a nice beach. It's amazing. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the itinerary because it's probably pointless, because the itinerary changes in every trip. Like they don't have absolutely a fixed trip. There is a stop that I think it's very common for everybody, which is called the farm. So this is already in El Nido. And the farm is basically their main base camp. It's where they go for training. I think in order to become like a Tao Expedition member, you need to do like a 6 months training where you learn how to cook, how to like accommodate guests, and they do it in this like main beach. And that's, I believe, from what I understood, that's where also the founders live or spend a lot of time of their life. And the farm is very nice. So basically that's all the, they also stop there because there is, they kind of like being a farm, they produce, they have all the vegetables, all the fruits, they have the meat, So usually they stop there just like to get more stuff before leaving again. So we stopped at the farm for one night, and that's when we got our complimentary massage, which was very, very nice. And the night of the farm, because usually like the dinner is amazing, but it's pretty basic. Like it's amazing because you have one guy in one boat that cooks all of this, but at the same time it's basically the same structure. That night at the farm, there was like a degustation menu with like 7 courses, and it was like amazing. Like it could have been like a degustation menu is like in the city center of, I don't know, like Sydney, New York, and it would have been the same. It was very good. I was starting to feel sick that night, so I only ate 3 of the courses, but the ones that I ate was amazing. And the next morning, again, also the breakfast was amazing. So this is the night that out of a boat of 19, 16 got food poison. So we call it food poison, but the expedition leader called it a heat rush. No, not a heat rush, a heat stroke. How did he call it? Sorry, I'm asking my partner because he remembers better. A heat stroke. Like he basically said it was because of the heat, which I might ignore on the topic, but I highly doubt that was the truth. What I truly believe is probably it actually didn't come from the food, because some people got it the day before, so like the food should heat everybody. I think it was more from the water, because basically you're not allowed to bring plastic in the boat. You can bring your refillable water bottle and you refill in the boat. And from what they explain us, that water has been like manually like purified wherever. But then if it stays a lot under the sun, it can like create some like how do you say that? Bacteria. Sorry, I would say the word in Italian. Apologies. Some bacteria that then basically got us. So we were all very, very sick, which was terrible, but also pretty cool. Like if you were not sick, you were not part of the crew. Like you had to be sick to be part of the experience. So we got sick this same night. So like on the night and also remember I had dengue. So every symptoms of like not well-being, I was like, I'm dying. This is dengue. I need to call an helicopter. So I was like very concerned, and I was sleeping and I was like, I can't. And then I would like wake up. And also this night we slept in this hub that were, like elevated, so like you had to do like some like stairs to go up, and I was like, oops, not gonna happen. So like I threw up, I think like 4 or 5 times. It was not nice, but like it was funny because like when you go around with your torch, you'd see so many other people so like trying to reach the bathroom to expel either way what was inside them. And the next day was like, it was literally like apocalypse now. Like people were like zombies. Nobody, like usually in the morning, everybody was so energetic, ready to go. And we were like, please carry me in the boat. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to see the sun. And it's like, you know, like the expedition has to go. Like you can't stop. Like there is no rest. So that day I remember that everybody was like in the shade in the boat. And we were, at one point we stopped in an island, and I was in the island and I was like, I can't make it back to the boat. And everybody was making it back for lunch, and I was like, I can't even eat. And I told my partner, I was like, can you just like leave me here in the beach to sleep? Call me, like come and pick me up before the boat leaves. So like I stayed and I completely passed out for like 3 hours. And then he came pick me up. And like obviously nobody in the boat actually ate because everybody was very sick. And we felt super bad because the chef was amazing. Chef was Vincent, and the assistant chef was Angelo, and they were actually amazing. Like it's just like they felt very bad because they thought it was their fault, but it was definitely not. Like it was not their fault. It's like our fault to be so weak in our stomach. And that was pretty much it. And it literally lasted 24 hours. After that we were like, woo, ready to go. We felt super good. It was actually funny because the expedition leader, actually only thing that he did for the group was preparing these like 3 bottles of, it's not like Gatorade, but it's like saline, water, whatever, like to energize a little. And everybody was like, literally, like I've never seen people so obsessed about something, like a drink, that like everybody was like, where is the saline water? Where is it? And like begging the person to the expedition leader to make more. But then after 24 hours, everybody was like fully recovered. The only one that really, I think there were like 3 people that didn't get sick, and one of them was my boyfriend. And he claims it's because he did not drink water for the entire trip. He only drank beer, which I mean could make sense. So I mean, I guess if you want to be sure, just like try to drink only beer. In my case, like I needed water, and I don't drink beer. But yes, so basically like it was an amazing experience. And during like in the time that you are sailing your boating, you can either like, we all, basically everyone in the boat had a Kindle, so like a lot of reading, and then you meet other people. It's very similar profile. I would say like the typical audience is between 25 to 35 years old. We had a big group from London. I mean, they didn't know each other, but it was like a lot of people from London. And then we had some people from Europe, but living in Vietnam. And then we had us, like a group from Australia, friends from Seattle, and then 2 friends from Hong Kong, and then other people. It was like a pretty cool group. It's definitely not a place for like drama queens. Like you need to be like, you need to adapt to the situation. And that's like, let's talk about here like how comfortable or uncomfortable it is. So before I left, I thought it was gonna be much worse. So I thought it was like literally like survival edition. It was not. I don't know if you were lucky or not, but it's basic. So you're never gonna have a flashing water for the entire trip. So in the boat, you have the bucket, and in the island, you have the bucket. But you have actual toilets. Like you don't have like a hole in the ground, which is what I thought I would get. It's like the bucket works. Actually, it's probably more energy than flushing it. And then in the shower, actually we got proper shower. One night the shower had salt water, which was kind of funny because like maybe like they think that, you know, like we're so spoiled and like we just see a shower and we don't realize that there is salt water, but that was fine. And another night, the last night was bucket shower. So like you had to shower like this. But other than that, I don't think it was uncomfortable at all. Like I really like the boat was comfortable. Again, it's not luxury, but like you could lay down. They also have some kind of like mid chairs, so like you can rest your back, and they have some like mats, so you don't have to lay on the ground. It was always amazing. And in terms of seasickness, we only got the sea was pretty tough only for like an hour or like half an hour, but nobody suffered of seasickness. And that's pretty much on the comfort part. In terms of like my overall feedback, I loved it. I'm very happy that I did it. I also had a very, 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 very big expectation, which I thought were met. But I think if you go with lower expectation, it's just like an amazing trip. Like if you go without knowing, I knew every little thing that was gonna happen except the itinerary, because I had friends that did it before, because I tried to book this trip before. I followed their Instagram accounts. Like my suggestion would be like go with like least expectation possible to really be overwhelmed by the experience. My personal opinion is that the El Nido area was much, much better than the Coron one. So if it was my choice, I would have spent maybe more time in the Nido and less time in the Coron. But it's also nice that way. And also I would suggest to start from Coron and go to El Nido, just because like El Nido for me, it's much, much prettier. So I like this like gradual like elevation of quality rather than starting with the best and then I kind of like gets worst. But overall it was an amazing trip. I highly recommend. In terms of cost, I think it was around $500 US, and that includes everything. So includes the 5 days of sailings, include every meal. The only thing that it's excluded, it's tip at the end, which I think they recommend you to tip between 800 to 1,000, but I saw like some of my friends tipped like much higher. I'm Italian, so I'm not used to tip, so like I tip what was recommended. I didn't go the extra mile, but these guys fully deserved it. And what else? Tipping. Then the massage is not included for that day. If you get the massage, if you want an extra one after a complimentary, you have to pay, but again, it's $5. Hope you can afford it. And alcohol, it's not included. Beer are 80 cents, so 80 cents US dollars. And rum, it's like a bottle like this of rum, I think it's like $5 as well. So it's like this big. I guess it's like half a liter. No, probably like 250. I don't know. I don't drink. I drank probably once, but I don't know. But people mix it. Like they don't just like drink the bottle, except for the expedition leader who drank the bottle. I hope Tao doesn't see this because I don't want to be firing anybody. But maybe that guy, maybe he should find another job. Anyways, what else? I think that's it. And then we arrived in Nido. Another advice, if you're leaving from Coron, do not stay in Coron. Stay in Coron only for the night before departure, just because you need to. But Coron is not amazing. It's actually pretty shitty. So what we did, we got an amazing Airbnb. I can talk more if you guys want, or just like ask me questions. Otherwise, I will not extend this video. It's pretty long already, but do not stay in Coron. El Nido is slightly better than Coron, still not amazing. So I would always recommend to try like even like book a resort or an Airbnb that it's like off the main town. And that's pretty much it. Let me know what you thought. I hope this explains a little bit more about this trip. And nothing. I will try to do another video. I think the next video I will do, it's about North Korea and my trip to North Korea in 2014. But let me know if you have any question. Thank you so much. Bye.